Well, there's that familiar theme song, and along with that familiar theme song must be the familiar voice of one Michael Snyder, who's going to review some movies for us on his Culture Blast portion of GABNet. Hi, Michael.
Hi, Alex, and greetings from the left coast where the weather's balmy today for some reason, but, you know, that doesn't mean that the films themselves are going to be sunny, and in fact, one of the murkier ones I've seen in a while, and one I kind of hoped I'd laugh at a little more, is Pride and Prejudice and Zombies, based on the sort of quirky, under-the-radar hit novel that ostensibly combines the plot of Jane Austen's classic Pride and Prejudice, her sort of goth romance from way back in the day, including her writing style, with a zombie outbreak. Now, you know, the book was kind of cool with the sort of ostentatious plot and writing style, but kind of a clever, funny writing exercise and not much more than that mashup. And that isn't going to ensure a great or even a good film, no matter how many acting and tech assets come into play. So this is... it's a cross between a wasted opportunity and a waste. You want it to be funny, you want it to be scary, but it doesn't really cover any of those bases. Again, the talent involved is pretty cool. A guy named Burr Steers directed and co-wrote it, and the cast includes, as the plucky Elizabeth Bennet, one of 5 Bennet daughters, Lily James, who is Rose from Downton Abbey, and as the sort of pompous priest or preacher, Mr. Collins, Matt Smith, a.k.a. the 11th Doctor from Doctor Who, and other supporting players include Douglas Booth, Charles Dance as the Bennett dad, Dolly Wells from Doll and M as Mrs. Featherstone. You get some good performers here, and as Mr. Darcy, the glowering object of affection, Sam Riley, who has done some terrific work in films. So you want to have fun with it, and you want to laugh, and you want to be jumping out of your seat, but none of that really happens enough to totally and utterly endorse Pride and Prejudice and Zombies. Again, you know, a great idea, a funny punchline in a way, but on the other hand, I really enjoyed the hell out of Hail Caesar, which is the latest movie by the Coen brothers, and they're kind of back with this comedy set during the latter years of Hollywood's golden age. It's the early 50s, and the costume epics are all the rage, and at Capitol Pictures Studio, which I guess is as cool as an amalgam you're going to get, the studio fixer, portrayed in high fashion and with his glower turned on to high as well, Josh Brolin. You know, he's trying to make sure everything keeps going well, juggling a bunch of different properties, keeping an eye on all of his wayward stars, and dealing with whatever daily crises come down the pike. George Clooney is one of his biggest stars, and this guy is going to be the lead, the centurion, in this Roman drama of the Christ, as they say, Hail Caesar. But he goes missing on one of the final days of shooting because of a strange and very amusing plot. And of course, you also get supporting work from a galaxy of, you know, contemporary stars, and some of them only have one scene. Jonah Hill, one scene. To be fair, Tilda Swinton, who plays 2 sisters who are gossip columnists, has more time on the screen than Jonah Hill. You want to see more of Frances McDormand as C.C. Calhoun, who is a film editor of some repute, one scene. And let's just say it here and now, I take back all the mean stuff I say about Channing Tatum. He plays a Gene Kelly-like singer, dancer, actor, star of musicals, and they have a fantastic sailors on leave dance and song sequence that I was like, oh, this is unbelievable. Scarlett Johansson as kind of one of those musical mermaid stars of the golden age, has a big production number that I loved. You know, there are maybe incestuous aspects to this, you know, a filmmaker making a movie about, you know, film and about Hollywood, but man, I dug this like you wouldn't believe. And a kind of breakout by an actor I've never seen before, Alden Ehrenreich, who plays a Gary Cooper-esque cowboy star who's pushed into a costume drama, like a kind of snooty, sophisticated Noel Coward circumstance, by Ray Fiennes' director, who's also, British upper crust. Look, I enjoyed it a lot. It may not be what, the common man wants to go see, but I thought it was terrific. And there's early 50s communism sells in Hollywood. It covers a lot of bases. And this is one of those rare occasions when I thought, you know what? I wish this was 10 or 15 minutes longer. That's how much I enjoyed it. And a lot of great supporting work by a lot of actors who you admire and I admire. Didn't get a chance to see The Choice, which is the latest, sticky, sweet, melodramatic, romantic bauble from Nicholas Sparks' pen, turned into a movie. I had a choice that night to see either that or Hail Caesar, and I chose properly, I think. The movie is pretty much typical stuff. A young man and a young woman meet as neighbors in a small coastal town and wind up in a relationship that lasts for a lifetime. I don't know, maybe not. The stars include Teresa Palmer, Tom Welling, and even Tom Wilkinson shows up to cash a check, the remarkable British character actor. They got work to do. They want to make a living. Okay, and lesser releases, things that are coming out either on video or in only the New York and LA markets for right now. Southbound is a kind of cool, I thought it was pretty entertaining. It's one of those anthology type horror and suspense movies with a little bit of sci-fi and some fantasy, and it's a bunch of different stories directed by a selection of different directors. And, these things, if you don't like the first one, the next little short, you'll enjoy that. There's one about some two guys on the road who were trying to get away from past problems. There's someone looking for his sister. There's a vacation family, and the stories are all kind of woven together. But it's all about being out on the road. And I thought Southbound was worth my time and worth people's attention. You again will probably be able to get to it on video fairly soon. And a few other things are opening. But, the main stuff was the Pride and Prejudice and Zombies film and Hail Caesar. And of the two of them, Hail Caesar did it for me big time. What do you got? You been watching anything out there?
Not a lot. I watched that OJ thing they did on FX.
Well?
Terrible. Really ghastly. Why do you cast Cuba Gooding Jr. as OJ when he's a short guy?
Huh.
OJ was a rather towering guy, and on top of that, what I was saying is there's a big difference between Cuba Gooding Jr. and O.J. Simpson, and that is that O.J. Simpson was a better actor.
So, I have to ask you, at any point does Cuba's O.J. say, "Show me the jury"?
No, it
never
just,
said that.
No, it's just please don't shoot yourself. This is Kimmy's room. It says, the Kardashian. What's his name?
Robert
Kardashian.
Yeah.
So,
hey, what about Travolta playing the other Robert?
Terrible, just horrible.
How about the guy who plays Judge Ito? Come on.
They haven't gotten that far. This is just episode 1. The chase is starting. Next week we get the chase.
Wow, that'll be fun. It was hours on local television in Los Angeles. I know that.
Yeah, terrible show.
Oh, hey, one quick note in terms of Hail Caesar. Roger Deakins is one of the greatest cinematographers in the world. I could watch an hour and a half of his work without the great, funny script and terrific actors. I just wanted to throw it out there. Shout out to Roger Deakins. Yeah. What a fantastic talent that guy is.
Yeah, but the only other thing, we got to see Youth, and my big question is, black people are being discriminated against. What about old people at the Oscars? Kane and Keitel should have both been nominated for Oscars.
Well, I would say Michael Caine does one of the best performances of his career. Tender, funny, sad, and he and Keitel are both fantastic in this. And Paul Dano, very, very funny as a young actor who's doing a little exploratory work at a Swiss spa.
Yeah.
But, I love that filmmaker. This is not, to me, as good a film as The Great Beauty, his previous movie. But, I definitely enjoyed it. And you're right. Why was Michael Caine ignored specifically?
And also, it's a very good film. So if people get a chance to see it, please go see it,
Yeah, Paolo Sorrentino, the director, did a movie called The Great Beauty that is about, I would say it's in my top 20 films. I love it so much.
Yeah.
And so this film, is definitely worth checking out. Youth.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if there's anything else on TV. Nah.
Nothing?
Pretty much nothing. Yeah.
I'm enjoying, as somebody who lives in LA a lot of the time, I enjoy Agent Carter's sort of weird 50s take on it.
I love Agent Carter, I especially like the fact that the bad person, the woman who's the baddie this year, because it takes place in Hollywood, is basically Hedy Lamarr.
Exactly. She's a genius who pursued a career in acting, but never let go of her scientific acumen. But of course,
and then invents, and they talk about what she invented. And the very thing they say she invented, I'm trying to remember the name of it now, was the exact thing that Hedy Lamarr invented that made it possible for a whole bunch of things, one of which was winning the war, but another one of which is the cell phone you have in your pocket right now.
She developed some kind of radar or sonar. I can't remember it either because Hedy Lamarr was much smarter than I am. But the difference between Hedy Lamarr and Agent Carter's Whitney Frost is Hedy Lamarr, not an evil megalomaniac.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But I just thought it was an amazing tribute to Hedy Lamarr and a good sense of what Hollywood was about to infuse the plot with this. And I happen to like the show a lot, and I think it's the best, one of the best Marvel attempts at television, outside of the Netflix stuff, which of course goes without saying.
Yeah, I think that Haley Atwell, who stars in one of my favorite episodes of Black Mirror, a series everyone should seek out on Netflix or wherever, she embodies the glamour of the 40s while at the same time being a feisty fighting gal and quite the babe. Yeah. I do believe she goes undercover next week, and I think it's going to be fun and funny.
Yeah, but I mean, I think it's a terrific show. I like it better than what it replaces, which is Marvel's Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which I think, doesn't really know what it wants to be except as a plug for the next movie that's coming out,
Well, I like both shows, but I agree with you. This is a cut above Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. I just think everybody, James Darcy, the guy who plays Howard Stark's butler, Jarvis, as her kind of sidekick, her platonic sidekick, fantastic, great rapport. Supporting players are all good. And I saw an FX reel of the first season yesterday, and it was jaw-dropping how they evoke the New York
what do you mean?
sets.
What do you mean an FX reel?
A special effects reel.
Oh, special effects reel. Oh, I thought you meant FX, a channel.
No. I meant like as in SFX, special effects. I have to say, they brought old-time New York in the late 40s and early 50s, whatever that period is, to life using the computer technology, and it's almost seamless. And when you see it, it's jaw-dropping.
Yeah,
it really
well, the Hollywood that they've created isn't bad either.
No, it's a tribute to their technicians and their art direction. Yeah. Well, and there you go. It's a big thumbs up from both of us for Agent Carter.
Yeah, well, that's it.
Yep.
What are the various places they can get a hold of you at?
Hey, visit me in Twitterland. My handle is @CultureBlaster, one word, and on Facebook, Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page, featuring my printed reviews, Alex and I talking about stuff, and more.
Okay. Thank you very much, Michael. We'll see you next week.
You got it, buddy.
And for the rest of you, GABNet continues.